Alright, let's check out JASMY. Another day, another lower high. So if we do zoom out to the macro term, just starting off, obviously it's completely undisputable that JASMY is in an absolute fall from grace right now. If we do kind of look at the midterm, since we had this local top over here at 32p, we've done nothing but make highs. You know, whenever we do have these massive pumps, I mean, it is not off the table for JASMY to rally like 96%, which is why down here I outlined, you know, potentially we could even double in price in the next week or so and we'd still be bearish. So if you can see, every time I'm circling, it is another local high. Every time we do make these local highs, whenever we do turn around strongly, it is basically over for JASMY. So we had another local high here, and we had another local high here, which is, you know, when we were coming up to this red box, I did say I think this red box would be strong resistance, and I don't think we'd get too far above it. And I said, you know, even if we do have a rally, which I was saying is my least likely scenario, I never saw us getting above this this orange box. And I said, you know, if I was wrong and JASMY did break above the orange box, we back tested it and started going up, I'd be happy to admit I was wrong, and you know, potentially this could be the bottom. But from what I can see, we've obviously, there's no fibs, there's no macro fibs on this target because everything is invalidated, everything is completely off the table, everything's done for. The only thing you can really look at is these micro fib retracements in the short term and potentially hoping to bottom, you know, somewhere down here. So we're obviously still very much down, you know, well over 99% now. We've had another rejection from, well, we came up to the 618 basically, between the 618 and the 786 of this micro move. Like I said, there's no like macro fibs that I can draw. Obviously, even if I do the, you know, midterm macro fib, I mean, there's what information can I get from drawing this to here? I mean, you know, this wouldn't even be useful until we come up to, you know, somewhere like 9 or 10 cents, which is basically a 9x from where we are now. And if we did do something like that, the RSI would be completely overextended in my opinion. So I just really don't like the setup for JASMY. No matter when Bitcoin is showing, you know, weakness or strength, JASMY is just showing weakness the whole time. If we do come over to Bitcoin now, I mean, Bitcoin has had a slight push up today. A lot of these altcoins are in the green. A lot of these altcoins are, you know, at least coming up and having a dead cat bounce. You know, I don't want to say they're rallying because really, in my opinion, until Bitcoin breaks 46,000 or 46, 47, if we come back. Until Bitcoin breaks 46,000, then nothing has changed and the market is still in a general downtrend. So I feel like, you know, buying coins like JASMY, at least for me, obviously none of my videos are financial advice, but I am a conservative trader. I would rather buy when we see a bottoming signal, something like this, maybe like an inverse head and shoulders, somewhere in this region. I would prefer to buy here than, you know, just to buy every single dip in JASMY, because I mean, JASMY's already down 99%. If you started dollar cost averaging in, you know, back in the day, you know, you've lost 99% of your money. So I am being very conservative on this coin. I will, you know, potentially think about a short-term trade once we do, you know, put in a bottoming signal. But from what I can see, we're not putting in a bottoming signal. We've had another dead cat bounce, another rejection, and I said, you know, fair enough, if we come down, if we close a daily candle above this red line here and we start pushing up, we can start talking about a market reversal. And obviously yesterday we fell through the table, today we came up, back tested it, and now we're falling off the table again. So you know, we predicted if we did lose this red line, we'd be coming down at least another 32%. You know, we'll talk about these much lower targets if we do lose the 1.618. But really, if you are a JASMY fan, you know, if I was you, I'd probably be hoping that we do hold the 1.618. Because once we lose that, I mean, the only thing we've got down here is this this low at 7.9, which is just under a penny, or just under a cent rather. And if we do lose that, you know, it's another 73% drop until the next fib target. There's obviously no macro fib targets. There's no previous lows down here. And if you just look at the volume, this coin just saw mass euphoria back here, and ever since then the data's been completely flat. There's no one buying, there's no one, I mean, there are people selling, but you know, it's just, it's really weak. And in my opinion, this is going to be coming down another 32%, and that's your best case scenario that we bottom down here. Your kind of more conservative target would be us coming down 46%. Obviously we've started coming down a bit more now, so we've already come down 5%. Another 41% move would put us at this low down here. But like I said, your first target would be the 1.618. If we have a massive bounce from down here, and you know, I don't see how we could, let's see. So I mean, technically we could even be, obviously this is all hypothetical, but I'd say something like this, you know, potentially if this didn't come all the way down here, this would really be your last line in the sand. Some big inverse head and shoulders pattern. Like I said, probably best case scenario would be holding this place down here, because if we do lose that, if we do lose this level down here, then you know you're pretty much screwed, or at least in the short term there's nowhere else for us to fall but a 73% drop, and that's not from here, that is from the breakdown level. So you know this would probably be another 99% drop, 84% drop. So yeah, like I said, keep an eye on the 1.618. It is literally 1 cent, so you know you can obviously round it down a tiny bit so it's exactly 1 cent. I'd say keep an eye on 1 cent. I personally wouldn't want to see it drop below 1 cent, but if it does, your absolute last line in the sand, and bear in mind, there's nowhere else for me to say last line in the sand once we break this level. If we break, you know, 4/5 of a cent, which is 0.008, we would literally be done for. There's nowhere else for us to go apart from a 73% drop. And then if we lose that, obviously the targets are all in the minuses, so you know we would be heading somewhere near to zero. So all in all, I'm still bearish on JASMY. I'm waiting for a bottoming signal. I'm not just going to FOMO in every time we have a dump or every time we have a pump. I'm sitting on the sidelines. I'm looking at the macro structure, and you know nothing's changed. We are just putting in these higher lows every single time we have these massive pumps up. You know, sometimes they're 2x moves, sometimes they're 50% moves. In this case, it was a 60% move, but you know, you can already see we've lost well over like 45% of that move, or 35% of that move. Sorry, my maths is a little bit shit today. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is your last line in the sand. Keep an eye on 1 cent. If we lose that, all you've got left is 0.008. So that's all I've got for you for JASMY. Once again, none of this is financial advice. Best of luck if you are holding this, and yeah, cowboy out. Peace.